Here is our viewer problem. Dear Mojo, is it truly better to stay together for the kids? I'm unhappy in my marriage. We feel more like roommates than husband and wife, yet we have 3 young children. This would devastate them and send our home into upheaval. So, which is worse, staying with in an unhappy marriage or putting our kids through a divorce? Anonymous.
Ooh.
Yikes, this is a tough one.
I feel like people talk about this a lot. I mean, this is a common issue for a lot of people, but I'll tell you, your kids know when you're not happy.
Yeah. And it will rub off. And again, I work with so many families, Michelle, and it is so difficult to watch kids go through a divorce, but it's more difficult to watch them stay in a situation where their families are unhappy and they're constantly fighting, they're constantly arguing, and the trauma is just as great as if they were separated.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I would believe that. I mean, I think when you have constant upheaval in the home, and I'm assuming there is, if it's as bad as she's saying, that the children are going to feel that tension all the time and almost wish that they weren't constantly fighting. And, and that constant fighting is putting them in a position where they're learning that fighting is normal.
Right.
Well, I wonder if she's considered any counseling yet. Like, I want to know what steps they've taken before she jumps to, should we get divorced or not?
Right,
You know?
and that's a good point, because you have to decide, do I want to stay or do I want to go? If she decides to stay, she's going to have to make sure that she puts the right boundaries in place and she gets the help that she needs. If she's going to go, she's going to have to do the same thing. She's going to have to make sure that she does it in the safe way and the most wise way.
Well, as with all of our problems, we put it up on our Facebook page, and you guys are kind of torn, our viewers. Here's some responses. Tina says, staying in the marriage is worse, so she agrees with us. Kids will adapt. You'll either feel homicidal or suicidal if you stay. Resentment is going to happen. The kids would be miserable seeing you unhappy. Best to keep your mind right since you're their leader. But Michelle Kern disagrees. She says, I think you know the answer in your heart. Those kids are more important, and you too can fall in love again if you work on it. Roommates is a lot better than most. Get some help and make this work. And quit thinking you have to be happy all the time. Make others happy, your kids. Is she right in saying you shouldn't be happy all the time? I mean, it's not going to be the honeymoon phase always, but you should be happy.
You should be happy, but at the end of the day, we don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. And even in my situation, I'm glad my mom didn't stay with my dad. It was a hard divorce, but you know, it was a domestic violence situation, so it was
it's better
time.
that
It
they
was
split.
better. So.